Radha Kala Chanji Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Kala Chanji Radha Kala Chanji Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Govind Radha Govind Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Narsinghadev Jaya Narsinghadev Narsinghadev Jaya Narsinghadev. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Shri Radha Kalachan Ji ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Thank you, Gokulanand Prabhuji. Welcome to morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let's chant this mantra together. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we're reading from Canto 7, Chapter 6. Prahlad instructs his demoniac schoolmates. So Prahlad has started preaching. We're starting this chapter today, chapter 6. And we're going to cover from text 1 through 8. And the focus verse is text 1. Most of you would have heard of this famous verse. So we'll start reading all the translations one by one. There are 8 verses. But what's happening till now, what has happened is the demoniac king, Hiranyakashipu's son, who is a pure devotee, Shri Prahlad Maharaj, our dear Bhakt Prahlad, who's only 5 years old, is such a pure devotee whose spiritual master is Shri Narad Muni. And this verse that we're going to cover today talks about how a person should start their spiritual life in Kaumar Avastha, which means from birth till 5 age is called Kaumar. So birth till 5 years of age is Kaumar, then comes Pauganda, which is 6 to 10 years of age, and then 11 to 15 is Kishore Avastha, and beyond that is Yavana. the youth. And then, of course, goes on till the end of Jada and Vyadi, which is old age and disease. Very probably hits us even before 50 now in Kali Yuga. So let's start reading the text 1.
Text 1. Prahlad Maharaj said, "One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, although temporary like other bodies. It is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection."
Try. We will come back to this later.
Text 2. The human form of life affords one a chance to return home, back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the most beloved, the master of the soul, and the well-wisher of all living beings.
Prahlad Maharaja continued, "My dear friends, born of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life according to one's past fruitive activities. Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor, just as we obtain distress."
This is so important that sometimes we do so much so many hardships, so much austerity just for happiness. But this is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying, that distress and happiness comes just naturally. Why? Because we've already performed actions for it in previous lives and maybe in this life also. And the reactions, the fruits that we are bearing are actually the results of previous activities. So there are actually 6 things, if anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, which is determined at the time of birth itself. That is honor, dishonor, this is happiness, distress, and there's one more thing. Honor, dishonor, happiness, distress. Yeah, I was thinking fame and infamy, but I think it means the same as honor, dishonor, but maybe fame and infamy. So this is already determined at the time of birth. What you're going, of course, it can be changed if you're a devotee. That's the only thing that can change the fruit of activities, the results of your actions, and even the samskaras. We will talk about that eventually. Yes, Raseshwari, please recite.
Endeavor is merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in a loss of time and energy with no actual profit. If one's endeavors are directed toward Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There is no such benefit from engaging itself in economic development.
Therefore, while in material existence, bhavam ashrita, a person fully competent to distinguish wrong from right must endeavor to achieve the highest goal of life as long as the body is stout and strong and is not embarrassed by dwindling.
Text 6. Every human being has a maximum duration of life of 100 years. But for one who cannot control his senses, half of those years are completely lost because at night he sleeps 12 hours, being covered by ignorance. Therefore, such a person has a lifetime of only 50 years.
Imagine losing a half of your life to sleep.
Text 7. In the tender age of childhood, when everyone is bewildered, one passes 10 years. Similarly, in boyhood, engaged in sporting and playing, one passes another 10 years. In this way, 20 years are wasted. Similarly, in old age, when one is invalid, unable to perform even material activities, one passes another 20 years wastefully.
So 40 years of your life is gone, plus 50 years of the actual span of life that you have. Srila Prabhupada is taking an example, let's assume 100 years of life, which is so laughable because 100 years we hardly see anybody only entering the Guinness record, book of records. Such a big achievement, right? You've crossed 100 years and you come in the records. But 50% of that 100 years is lost in sleep, and first 20 years is lost in boyhood and youth. And last 20 years is, it's saying that it's wasteful because, where you're invalid because the body is dwindling, it is weak. The senses, the ability to hear, listen, see, everything is lost. So 20 years are just gone there. So 40 years is already wasted.
Text 8. One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to family life because of insatiable lusty desires and very strong illusion. In such a madman's life, the remaining years are also wasted because even during those years, he cannot engage himself in devotional service.
So Prahlad Maharaj is saying that those years are lost. Srila Prabhupada is explaining 40 years gone, first 20, last 20. And in between also, how can we expect to do devotional service if the prime years of your life have gone in different consciousness? Because the mind and senses are uncontrollable and you become attached to family life, right? You have lust, you have greed, and that just entangles you. Oh, so that's all. We're reading till text 8 today, sorry. Thank you. So today's focus verse is text 1. It's a very important verse for all parents, all children, everybody, all of us. Please repeat after me. Shri Praharadu Vacha Kaumara Acharet Prajno Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapya Dhruvamarthadam Kaumara Acharet Prajno Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapya Dhruvamarthadam. One more time. Kaumara Acharet Prajno Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapya Dhruvamarthadam. Please recite. Shri Praharadu Vacha Kaumara Acharet Prajno Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapya Dhruvamarthadam. Shri Praharadu Vacha Kaumara Acharet Prajno Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapi Dhruvamarthadam. Raseshwari, do you want to try? Shri Prahladu Vacha Kaumar acharet prajna dharman bhagavata durlabham manusham janma tadapya dhruvamarthadam. Very good. Thank you. Haribol. Anybody else who would like to recite? Mataji's? Yeah. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Kaumar acharet prajna dharman bhagavata niha durlabham manusham janma tadapya dhruvamarthadam. You wanted to recite? Shri Prahlad Uvacha Kaumar acharet prajna dharman bhagavata niha durlabham manusham janma tadapya dhruvamarthadam. Thank you very much. Let's read the word-to-word translation. Shri Prahlad Uvacha. We can read this together. Shri Prahladaha Uvacha. Prahlad Maharaj said, Kaumaraha, in the tender age of childhood, Acharet, should practice, Prajna, one who is intelligent, Dharman, occupational duties, Bhagavatan, which are devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Iha, in this life, not next life, not next to next life, in this very life. Durlabham, very rarely obtained. Manusham, human, Janma, birth, Tat, that, Api, even, Adhruvam, impermanent, temporary, Arthadam, full of meaning. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved. And although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. Purport. The whole purpose of Vedic civilization and of reading the Vedas is to attain the perfect stage of devotional service in the human form of life. According to the Vedic system, therefore, from the very beginning of life, the brahmacharya system is introduced so that from one's very childhood, from the age of 5 years, one can practice modifying one's human activities so as to engage perfectly in devotional service. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 2.40, Swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayate maheto bhayat. Even a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Modern civilization, not referring to the verdicts of Vedic literature, is so cruel to the members of human society that instead of teaching children to become brahmacharis, it teaches mothers to kill their children even in the womb on the plea of curbing the increase of population. And if by chance a child is saved, he is educated only for sense gratification. Gradually, throughout the entire world, human society is losing interest in the perfection of life. Indeed, men are living like cats and dogs, spoiling the duration of their human lives by actually preparing to transmigrate again to the degraded species among the 8.4 million forms of life. The Krishna consciousness movement is anxious to serve human society by teaching people to perform devotional service which can save a human being from being degraded again to animal life. As already stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Bhagavad Dharma consists of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. In all the schools, colleges, and universities, and at home, all children and youths should be taught to hear about Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, they should be taught to hear the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, to put them into practice in their lives, and thus to become strong in devotional service, free from fear of being degraded to animal life. Following Bhagavad Dharma has been made extremely easy in the age of Kali. The Shastra says, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalau naste va naste va naste gatiranyatha. One need only chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Everyone engaged in the practice of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will be completely cleansed from the core of his heart and be saved from the cycle of birth and death. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschate Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So this is such a wonderful, such an important text that we are covering today. Shri Prahlad Maharaj started preaching to his classmates. So actually Shanda and Amarka told Hiranyakashipu, don't take Prahlad's bhakti so seriously. He's not dangerous. You just send him again to school and we'll teach him. So here Prahlad is turning out to be dangerous in terms of Shanda and Amarka, because he's so strong that no matter how many impediments came and will come, but he's so determined in his spiritual life that bhakti is oozing out in the form of preaching. That's what happens when bhakti, when we say the cup is filled, you keep pouring in that cup, it'll overflow. So when your heart is filled with bhakti, preaching to people around you will just be another sign of you enjoying and relishing bhakti. Naturally, you would want to preach. So there are so many aspects that are covered in this verse. It talks about, let's start with the first one, Kaumara acharet pragna. That an intelligent person takes up bhakti in their Kaumara age, which is birth till 5 years of age. An intelligent person. Now, of course, a baby is haven't formed really, we can say, consciousness where they can know, okay, what is right and what is wrong. But this is the duty of the parents. When parents bring a soul in this world, they have taken the responsibility to do that. It is along with that their prime duty to provide spiritual education to their kids. And not wait till, okay, let my child turn 15 or 10 years of age, because then they'll start understanding bhakti. But no, it starts at a very young age. Why? Because think about this. If you want to teach your child how to swim, would you wait till the age of 50 years old and say, okay, now you go and learn swimming? I don't think that person can even, there would be, they probably can. I'm not saying you cannot try new things at the age of 50. That's the new me. I have, crisis, and I really want to explore into doing something new. Of course, people can always do at any age, but when you start at a very young age, you are very energetic. You are joyful. You don't have big responsibilities, right? Half of the time, our mind is, not half, most of the time, is filled with fear and apprehensions, right? Okay, will this job work out? Will this relationship work? What do I need to do? I need to go back, earn, impress my boss. I need to get that promotion. Or at the same time, my full body checkup came and I really need to take care of my diabetes, blah, blah, blah. So many things, right? There are so many anxieties. And what happens is the most important thing, this vidya that we are providing, this Bhagavatam knowledge is so important. Why? Because avidya, which means lack of knowledge, leads to calm. material desires, the intensity, the propensity to enjoy. When there is no knowledge, that calm is generated within our hearts. With calm, it leads to karma. We will perform more materialistic activities, day-to-day stuff that people do. And that leads to klesha. That leads to problems. Within the mind, with this body, and around us. So many kleshas happen, right? But it all starts with avidya. So knowledge is so important. And why not give it at such a young age with a child who you have brought in this world, who people have brought in this world, actually deserve to know about Krishna because that is their only prime relationship. So Kaumara Acharet Pragno means intelligent people who practice bhakti at Kaumar age. Dharman Bhagavatan Iha. So dharm means, I'm sure you all know, means duty, but it also means the nature, right? Like we say, sugar has a nature of sweetness. That's its nature. But what duty are we talking about here? Bhagavatan. The highest duty of a living entity, of a human being, is to practice devotional service. Bhagavatan. So 2 words, Srimad Bhagavatam, and also devotee Bhagavata, right? We always refer Bhagavata as has 2 meanings. So that's our prime duty. That's what Srila Prahlad Maharaj is telling his friends. Iha means this life. So this very life. Because next word that comes, next verse next line comes is Durlabham Manusham Janma. How many times have we heard in Srimad Bhagavatam about how rare this human form of life is? Right? 8.4 millions of species. Just imagine, we got the great fortune. The world shined upon us and the sun bloomed, we got a human birth. That is such a big mercy to get. But we don't realize it because we see humans all the time. We just feel, okay, this is so normal. But if we don't practice spirituality in this life right now, we will not get human life again. It's lost. That's what Prabhupada is saying, that you will be going down to degraded species. And that is the most common fear that humans have. Consciously, maybe they don't even know this will happen, but unconsciously and subconsciously, this is the fear. Degrading to lowest life. But why do we need to hurry? That's the answer is because we're not sure if you're going to get this birth again. We really need to hurry, and that's why we say, right, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. It means inquire about the Supreme right now. It doesn't say later. It is say now, inquire about it. Now, right away. So this human form of life is only and only meant for one purpose, the highest dharma. Because we have the ability to inquire, which other species do not have. We have the intelligence to inquire, to question. Because as Srila Prabhupada also explains in the purport, Prahlad Maharaj says in the verse actually that first 10 years are lost in, you don't know what you're doing, you're a kid. And then comes the youth, which is so, you want to know everything, you want to explore everything. There are new things you get to know. You're in a young body. So 20 years of life is just gone if you don't know about Krishna at all. And now these prime years are actually forming your belief system. This is forming your behavior, your consciousness, everything. So the samskaras that are built, that's we're actually carrying them, not just started right now in this life. We're carrying those samskaras, means the impressions of the mind. So for example, somebody who you see is constantly getting angry. So anger has become their part of that's their samskara. That's because that's so prominent. Nothing can change it. people come to therapy, people talk for hours, anger management, stress management. Of course, it helps at a very surface level. But Srimad Bhagavatam has the ability to change the samskaras, to actually purify you. Because, like in Bhagavad Gita, we read in the introduction, right, that when you take bath in an auspicious river like Ganga, your sinful reactions are gone. But when you hear Bhagavad Gita, when you read, hear, and understand Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the sinful propensity goes away. The ability to perform sinful reactions, it goes away. Because if you just take a bath in a holy river, I mean, if you go with that intention, I don't think that still works. That, okay, let me just commit some sins, go back, take a dip in the river, come outside, again perform sins. Just like an elephant takes bath, comes out, rolls in the mud. That's what we do, right? We are rolling in the mud. I want to say something else, but in the mud sounds better. Rolling in the mud all the time. Because we are not understanding Srimad Bhagavatam. We are not understanding the essence of Bhagavad Gita and this, that they let us know that's the essence of life. So, as soon as a child learns the ability to hear, start giving them Krishna Katha, pastimes of Krishna and bedtime stories. Sing nice Vaishnav songs. Why it has so much power is not because it's coming from you, but it's coming direct from the bona fide scriptures. It's coming direct from Krishna. It has the transcendental vibration. It has purity. So when they learn the ability to chant, to speak, then you help them chant maybe names of Krishna, Madhav, Keshav, Madhusudan, Damodar. Help them learn Kirtan, tell them to recite Narsinghadev prayers. So they have so many abilities, right? They learn to draw. And I see all the time here kids drawing nice Krishna Balram, or, they're always, lecture is happening and their drawings are also spiritual. So that's the right way. And then comes tadapya adhruvam arthadam. It means human life is temporary, but arthadam, full of meaning. It is full of meaning. Because there's so much you can do, right? You can just understand the message of Krishna. You can understand what is the message for me in this life. So it is very meaningful. And what are people doing? Wasting it. हम हिंदी में भी से धुएं में उड़ा दिया, मतलब literally just, it's nothing. We're losing the prime age. We're losing everything. If anybody has, I'll pause for a few seconds. If anybody has anything, any comment or any realization on this, please go ahead. Any experience you want to share? Yeah, please, go ahead.
I just remember Srila Prabhupada talking about the years wasted, and I remember one time I asked Ratadra Swami, like we were at like a youth thing or something, and everyone was like, "Oh, being a teenager, there's so many like disturbances," and he's like, "Yeah, this teenager age, you just salvage what you can." So many negative qualities, so many, this and that. Just try to salvage whatever you can.
Yeah.
I was contemplating on the third line, Durlabham. So I can always recall whenever I think of how this human form of life is rarely achieved. So one of my god brothers, he was extensively researching in some scriptures, and he found out there was a particular mention about this. He said there are 8.4 million species, and each one of us has to go through every single species, not just that particular species, but every subtype of that
Yes.
species. Like, for example, if a dog species we consider, then each type of dog one has to go through, not just one dog and then you evolve through that
Wow.
species. But when it comes down to human form of life, it is not like that. It's like a snake ladder game. You go up and then
Wow. So this is such a golden opportunity, right? I hear this example. Imagine you're in a well. It's dark. There is no light. It's a big, deep well. Of course, wells are like that. Now imagine you're in one spot and you climb and you go around and you go around and around. And there's just one small gate, only one, where you see light coming through. And there's this golden opening, like, and you know this is the point you have to climb till. And just at that point, you're like, oh, you just start scratching your head and then you pass it. That's you miss it. And then you have to go back, fall down, come again, climb. So much effort we have to do. Similarly, this is the golden opportunity, the golden gate that we are actually seeing, that we are reading in the scriptures. We're like, okay, let it go. Let me attend my meeting right now. Let me take out my phone, scroll through, forget it. That's the scratching of the head that we are doing. And we're losing that golden opportunity. We're literally not realizing how important it is. But the mercy that we have is, what is that one mercy you all think can really help us elevating, advancing in spiritual life? I'm sure there's a lot of answers to this and a lot of mercy, but what do you think, according to you, is the mercy that would really help us in our bhakti? Yeah, of course I can say no to that. Yes, Guru. Definitely. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yes. Association, what else? Deeper into that. Tulsisaki Mataji is saying association, that's the hint. Go deeper.
The answer given by the acharyas is Satam Kripa. The mercy of a devotee is really what will...
Exactly. The mercy of the devotees. Nothing else. Not that I am doing so much reading, so much chanting, 128 rounds, 64 rounds. Of course that will help. But if you are not serving devotees, we won't get the mercy. I've heard actually so many examples where people have said that, the only service I probably performed for this devotee was just going and greeting him every time I see them. One day I had a problem and I went and shared my heart out. And of course that person didn't help, but that problem went away. That really happens. But when you approach a devotee, even if, I see sometimes because when we are spending a lot of time with devotees, there will be some characteristics, some statements that will hurt you. Some things they will do that will hurt us because it hurts our ego. Not that they are wrong, but like I said, a few days ago, we have an ego in size of a balloon. And people are poking it. We are expert in poking it because, we still carry those samskaras. We like to judge people. We like to say something. Hey, Prabhuji, why are you not coming for Mangalarti for so long? Why? Instead of saying that, encouraging people, giving them the love, that they are motivated and encouraged to do that. Oh, you used to make nice prasadam, what happened to you? No, you don't have to say such things. We have to be very encouraging. And that will really melt the heart of the person, and that's where the mercy will flow. Because Krishna really loves when you serve his devotees. And when you get devotees' mercy, Krishna gives the mercy. So, like Prabhuji said, that's the main thing. And so human form of life, we keep meeting devotees, we keep serving devotees. We should serve devotees with mind, speech, actions. Speech by glorifying them. By actually genuine appreciation of somebody. When you genuinely appreciate, that touches their heart. And then genuine appreciation happens when you actually say, Prabhuji, I know nobody knows what you do. Okay, I'll tell you one example. So many examples, because in this temple we have wonderful senior devotees, but like Gopal Prabhu, I was just thinking of him. There are services he does that nobody even knows about. And if he doesn't do that, you will see that something is missing. Like, he will take care of minutest details that we probably will look at and ignore. When we say, right, attention to details, small things. Something is not functioning, the water is overflowing, these things you can see. But even deeper, okay, changing the trash, like, he's such a exalted pujari, but he does every service and he does it with so much humility that nobody knows about it also. That's the best thing, when you serve and nobody knows. We like to serve when everybody can see, right? Come on the altar and do the service. But when nobody sees it, that's where actually you're doing it for Krishna. Nobody can see it. So, and when you serve that person, when you serve that devotee, you get mercy. You get their mercy, and Krishna gives that love to you in your heart. So try. And sometimes I think it helps when we don't have genuine appreciation for, let's say, one devotee, one person, because there are things you know or something happened. Associate with devotees who appreciate those devotees that you don't like. For example, you don't like person A, but person B loves person A, keeps glorifying. So you understand what exactly person B sees in them, and then you will be able to appreciate it, because you'll be able to see from a different lens. So, yes, coming back to this verse, that human life is so rare that you don't want to wait till the end to start doing something so great. Imagine you're in an exam hall, you're writing an exam, you have 3 hours, and you're like, okay, I don't want to start writing now. I will write when 2 hours and 45 minutes have passed away. And now I'll start writing. Does that make sense? No. Because you want to do it right now, right? So your life has started in the womb. From then only it has started. And Prahlad Maharaj is the prime example. In the womb, when he was being instructed by Narad Muni. And now he's just 5 years old. You know, 5-year-old kid. Do we have anybody around here who's in the dham who's 5 years old? Any names? Tulsida Mataji, do you know? I'm just thinking in the sense how small that child would be. Yeah, she's 3 or 4. She's 4, I think. Yeah. Imagine, she's so little. Prabhupada is saying, Prahlad Maharaj is telling that it should start in that Kaumar Avastha. I'm missing the 2 kids who are so regular to Bhagavatam class because they've gone to India. And I can appreciate now because they're not here, so otherwise they will get awkward. They hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Jaishnav and Ananvata every single day. They come for Guru Puja, they come for Darshanarti, they attend Srimad Bhagavatam, they recite the verses. Sometimes I would not remember an example of some character, personality in Bhagavatam, and they would. That's because I've seen Jaishnav, he doesn't waste time. He will play, because of course that's good, that's the energy in the young boy, right, in a young body. They will play, but so many times he will just finish this thick book in one day. Can you imagine? This one book. Today, Mataji, guess what book did I read? And he's like, Vishnu Puran. I'm like, wow. At the age of, he's 7 years old. He's reading books like those. I don't know what I was doing. I didn't even know what Vishnu Puran was at the age of 7, probably. And they know all the stutis. So there are so many devotees, right? We know, we all would have personal experiences, but so many young devotees. And that is the best time, because they are actually learning about Krishna. Now imagine if I am performing bhakti and compared to a small little child, won't Krishna be immediately pleased when that child is making the effort? Of course, for us, all of us, for Krishna, all of us are children. But, you know, the heart will just melt. And if the memory, the ability to remember verses, right? To memorize verses, it is so easier when you're a kid. Because the mind is so sharp. So it's very easy to remember, to memorize, to practice bhakti, to dance around. I mean, people really want to, at the old age, if you ask them, devotees around you, They wish they could just still go and dance in Kirtan. They could just whole day serve, run around and just serve. We hear amazing stories from them that they used to do gulab jamun competition, throw like gulab jamun, it has to enter the mouth. And this is all transcendental. Please understand the bhav behind it, that they enjoyed company of devotees. They really looked forward to it. They shared their hearts with each other. That's what association means. You know what's the most difficult thing for all of us? To feel vulnerable. No, it's to open your heart out in front of someone, to be vulnerable in front of somebody, to say, this is my problem. This is the issue that I have. Not be proud of it in a way that, I just can't do it. I've been practicing bhakti for 20 years, but I still can't do this one thing. I'm not able to do it. Please help. But we want to only show devotees or people around us how much we know, not how much we don't know. Right? We try to hide that thing because we are ashamed of it. But when you share with devotees, when that company of devotees is there, it's so beautiful. They will encourage you. They will say, let's do reading together. Let's do this together. It's not about how many shlokas you've learnt in your life, but how many good devotee relationships you can have. And how much you can serve them, how much, so much mercy will flow through them. Sometimes we just underestimate that and think that, okay, we just approach Kalachandji directly and talk to anybody however we want and Krishna will be pleased. That's very wrong. So, let me see if there's anything else in this verse. Until then, any question or any comments, please go ahead. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for such a nice class. I liked your point when you mentioned how there's this 5-year-old and how much Krishna would be pleased with them. And then you made this comment that also all of us are, Krishna's kids. I was thinking that's a very nice thing to think about, is that, in the spiritual world, everyone's young, everyone's youthful, everyone's kids. And sometimes we can get very serious or oh, I need to be this big thing. But when we mess up, Krishna just sees us as kids, And when another devotee messes up, we can just look and say, okay, this is a kid. We don't. Prabhupada said that there's no big devotees in our movement. There's only small devotees. So. Wow. Small devotees also means small. So we can think of ourselves in that way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we have to be childlike. What do you use this mic? It goes and it comes. Thank you, Jishra Prabhu. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So actually, this is a very nice point that we're just see each other as we're all young kids still trying to learn bhakti, right? Your age, let's not think of how old you are in this world, but since the time, let's say you're doing bhakti, so you're maybe just 10 years old, maybe just 12 years old. So that spiritual maturity is yet to take place, right? So, yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
I just wanted to add one point that I remembered one of my teachers telling me, don't try to be a great devotee, try to be a good devotee.
Jai. Yes. That's a nice one. So it's very like Prabhupada said, just be simple. But for us, it's very difficult to be simple, no? Just be a good devotee. You don't have to wait for praises, be recognized, be a great, famous devotee, but just be genuine. Just deal with people with simplicity. And when you associate with devotees, it's a blessing actually that we have, that we can see each other every single day, that we can associate with devotees every single day. That's a very big fortune that we sometimes forget. Because we say, right, ek matra sadhu sangha, right? Just ek shan, one moment of association can give us so much blessing. But right now, we have so many moments of associations. And your heart will feel it when you're more Krishna conscious than self-conscious. When you're looking around, caring for people, and not thinking of my care, how much comfortable I am. Because till the time you will reach age 50, 60 and you wait for bhakti to mature or start even, imagine you have imbibed so much fear and anxiety until then, right? You see people around you, maybe your relatives or friends who are, let's say, not practicing Krishna consciousness, who have no idea. Their consciousness is very different. They are probably constantly in fear, in tension, stress, worried about things, because there's nothing else to look forward to. Just worried, just anger. It's just filled there because there's no knowledge apart from what they are seeing day-to-day life. My Guru Maharaj always gives this example. A master who owns a donkey. What do? They tie a carrot in front of the donkey. So let's say the donkey is walking, so the carrot is also walking ahead. But the donkey has this thing, the more I walk, I'm approaching closer to the carrot. I will enjoy it, right? At the end of the day, the master takes out the carrot, next day puts the carrot back, and then the ass starts walking again. That's us, right? Humans, mostly, waking up in the morning, following that target again, following the day-to-day rat race, thinking one day I will enjoy. One day I will just enjoy. No, nothing to do, full retirement, only luxuries, health will be also okay. But who guarantees that? Who guarantees you will have old age? We can't even guarantee that. Michael Jackson paid millions of dollars to his doctors and said, I don't want to age. We know how many surgeries he got. But nobody can stop a body from aging. And then he passed away before 50. He passed away, 50 years of age, before that. Because can any equipment, can any millions of dollars money stop your soul from leaving this body? Can it stop you from aging? You can get Botox, you can get plastic surgeries, but you're gonna age, definitely. It's not a bad thing. It's a natural symptom of this human body. But the first natural symptom is of the soul that we need to focus on, the highest dharma. As Prahlad Maharaj said, just start bhakti at a Kaumar avastha. So even if it's okay, maybe a lot of people did not start bhakti at a young age, it doesn't mean they cannot practice bhakti later. But this is an encouragement to everybody that the sooner you start, the better it is. Because you'll be able to understand this devotional process, that you'll be able to understand your relationship with Krishna. So I'll pause here. Is there any other question or any comment? Okay. Yes,
Just want to make one comment because you were mentioning about Gopal Prabhu. I think this was the first or second day I came to this community. I think it was Gaur Purnima, the next day after Gaur Purnima, and I came to the temple in the morning around 4:15 or something, and there was no one, and there was just Gopal Prabhu, and he was sweeping and mopping the entire temple floor.
You know, he does that every Monday.
And I was completely, and he came and then he did all his services and so unassuming, and I was like, wow, this is really a special soul.
I'm so glad that you're seeing that and you're appreciating that. I'm so glad.
And we have so many special souls like that. I mean, I wish
That's true.
I just-
Thank you, Prabhuji. That's really nice. Gopal Prabhu, every day actually, he comes in the morning, early morning, he sees there's something, he will start cleaning it. And Monday especially, he does full, proper deep cleaning because Sunday feast, so many people come. And we won't probably guess how it looks. We enter this hall, it's clean, right? It's so clean, spick and span. We don't know what happens before that because he does everything, switch the light back off, only Prabhupada's light, Vyasasan light is on, these books, case light, bookshelf light is on, and then he's back on the altar blowing the conch, performing Aarti. And it doesn't end there. Then he, after Aarti, he chants some japa. If he doesn't have cooking service, then he goes to the farm. So there's so many things he does, probably things that even I wouldn't know. But I'm so glad that, if we can observe what every devotee does, and we can really appreciate it. And we can probably appreciate first in the heart, acknowledge it, appreciate it, and then probably we can appreciate to them or discuss with other devotees so that everybody can feel that love for that devotee. So, yeah. Bhakti is so wonderful that if you want to do something nice, it always helps you back. Krishna is just waiting to shower his love upon you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnav Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.